Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, me, Tez Ilyas! Good evening, Hackney, make some noise! All right, I promise you a show, let's do the jokes. I've written one joke for the show. I'll do it now. It's a comedy show. I've got one. I'll do it now. Get it out of the way. Have you heard about that new Indian AI? It's called I. That's your level, is it? Okay, good to know. I got insulted this year. It's one of the most favourite thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I love insults. That's why I love doing crowd work so much. And this insult was, it was a gem. Now, I put a picture of myself on Instagram. The first thing that happened wasn't an insult. Put a picture of myself on Instagram. I thought it was looking quite nice. Someone underneath it wrote, "Oh, man looks like a younger Basim Youssef." Aye. If you don't know who Basim Youssef is, that's right. Basim Youssef is an Egyptian comedian, an Egyptian satirist. A lot of people like calling him like the Egyptian Jon Stewart. Very funny man, very popular man, tours all over the world. Now, more importantly for me though, Basim Youssef is a very sexy uncle. So to be called a younger Basim Youssef, thank you. So I was feeling good at myself, riding that high. A couple of weeks later, I put another picture of myself on Instagram. This time I was wearing my glasses. I've got a prescription, I was wearing this face, glasses on. Put that on Instagram. Someone else underneath that one wrote, "Oh, man looks like a younger Shipman." Which wasn't as nice as the Basim Youssef comment. If you can't see it, bear with me 1 second. Just give me, let me. Okay, go and sit down. But if I'm honest, I couldn't be that mad about the Shipman comment. Because if you don't know who Shipman is, Shipman was a doctor his entire adult life. This man was a doctor. About 25 years ago, he got investigated. At this point, he's in his late 60s. He's almost retired. And it turned out that on his watch, Shipman murdered 218 of his patients. He's Britain's most prolific serial killer of all time. So, you know. You know, it's not every day you get compared to a legend, is it? So, I thought, what, you think I'm the GOAT? Thank you very much, bro. So I couldn't be that mad about it. First of all, he thinks I'm the GOAT, so I'll take that. Secondly, the guy did say younger. And at 41, I'll take any compliment I can get. And thirdly, if I'm being honest with you lot tonight, London, my family, they would just be happy I'm a doctor. Imagine I wore them for the rest of the show and you just sat there. Too late for me to be a doctor now, of course, but I fully embraced the uncle phase of my life. Like, I'm a proper uncle now. And I don't mean that in the sense I got nieces and nephews. Obviously, I have those. I mean it in the sense that I'm angry and annoyed and upset at everyone and everything all the time. I take no joy in life anymore. Even things I used to love, I've fallen out of love with. Like driving. I used to love driving. Obviously, I'm Asian. It's in my blood. But you know when you do something that you love doing, but you do it too much, you fall out of love with it? Married people know what I'm talking about. I've just done it too much. My baseline mood now, I'm like annoyed. Like the happiest mood you can catch me in now is low level annoyed. Like that's my baseline. I will not be in a happy mood and low level annoyed, but you put me behind the wheel and the road rage is a problem. Like I go from 0 to a doctor's receptionist like that. I'll tell you what it is I don't like about driving specifically. You know when you're driving, and then other people, they're driving, they can fuck off. If you're in a multi-lane road and the lane outside you is free and someone's trying to merge into your lane, fuck off to the outside lane. It's the only time in my life I've become a proper little Tory. When I'm behind the wheel, I'm a right little swell braverman. Because if I'm driving and someone pisses me off, this is me, well, fuck off back home then. Why don't you go back to where you come from, lad? Go home, bro. Piss off back home, man. Which, ironically, he probably is going home, but road rage. Tories did piss me off as well, I'm not going to lie, for 14 years. I'm so glad we got rid of them. 14 years, man. 14 wasted years of this country's potential under the Tory government. And I thought, what's the number one reason that I'm happy that we got rid of them? I thought, was it austerity? Was it corruption? Was it Grenfell? Was it Partygate? Was it Windrush? Was it pandering to the far right? No, I don't care about any of that, whatever. What I couldn't get my head around is in the 14 years we had the Conservative government, how do we have more Tory prime ministers than Doctor Who's? Doctor what? People have stopped watching Doctor Who. That's what the internet's telling me. So all the angry guys on Twitter are saying, it's not called Twitter anymore, it's called X. The angry X-Men, that's what I call them, where the X stands for xenophobe. So that's the angry X-Men, the angry bigots, the angry people online, this is what they're saying. Doctor Who's gone woke. So much diversity in Doctor Who now, they've ruined it. And I was trying to figure out what they meant, because Doctor Who is a show that I love and I watch. So I caught up on this new season and I figured it out. What it was, since the beginning of Doctor Who, when that show first started, it was always white man doctors in it. Top lads. And then they had a woman one, and now there's a black one. And that's too much, that. Never mind the fact the guy's an alien with two hearts, a black alien with two hearts. Not on my hate watch. But I thought, if you think Doctor Who went woke, then I got news for you, because the Tories went super woke. Because in 2010, they gave us a man one, a white man one, a posh white man one, proper, traditional, private school, Oxbridge, love bacon, too much. A man's man. Then after that, they gave us two women one, a brown one. At one point, there was like a blonde disabled one. I was like, hey, brother, what's that? What's that, brother? I don't want diversity from the Tories too. Tory diversity doesn't make any sense. Different skin, same shtick. Like if the Tories made Skittles, yeah, they might all look different, but they don't taste the same. Lemon and herb, one assumes. Tory diversity is an oxymoron. Like Pakistani democracy. Or like English tolerance. Or like Scottish football. What are you on about? My favourite of the 14 years, we all had a favourite. Do you remember the Liz Truss era? Era's not quite the right word, is it? Do you remember the Liz Truss weekend? The Liz Truss happy hour, anyone? You know what no one mentions about Liz Truss? That woman got away with the crime of the century and no one ever brings it up. Liz Truss, yeah? She killed the Queen, innit? Now, I don't want to be a knobhead, but she has to be a suspect in the case. Because what are the facts? The facts are the Queen was alive. Liz Truss went to see the Queen. The next day, the Queen died. You have to be a suspect in the case. Brothers will be sent to prison on less circumstantial evidence than that. I just want to know what happened in that meeting, what went down. Because little Liz, right, she takes out big Liz. Fuck off. So now she's top Liz. I'm like, all right, live your best life. Brat girl summer, do your thing. But 2 weeks later, she resigns herself. So we lost 2 Liz's in a month. And for me, London, you don't understand, before that, I'd never lost a single Liz in my life. That was too much Liz loss for me, that. It's a hell of a CV though, isn't it? London, imagine this was your CV. Become Prime Minister, kill the Queen, fuck the country, fuck off. Forget the post office, I want to see that ITV drama. She's bad news, Liz Truss. You might not remember this, but she's the one who crashed the economy. Half the problems we've got in the country today are because of Liz Truss. You remember, she did that one fiscal policy with the Chancellor, and immediately the next day, the pound just went vroom. Like my respect for people who love Andrew Tate, just vroom straight down to her. Just vroom straight down to hell. That was a bad week, that. I remember that week, people were panicking about their finances. The news were making us worried about their finances. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I worried about my finances. I'm not above it. I'm not better than you lot. I did worry. I know exactly what I did that week. I rang my uncle in Pakistan. I was like, Uncle, yeah, can you send some money back, please? No, come on, man. I've got a gas bill here. Oh, come on, man. And then she left, innit? Liz left. And then Jaja came in for a shift. Uncle Rishi, innit? Clocked in. And I don't know how I feel about Rishi Sunak's time as Prime Minister, if I'm honest. First of all, the entire time Rishi Sunak was Prime Minister, to me, it felt like one long episode of The Apprentice. He just had that real work experience energy about him the entire time he was in office. Like he was on one permanent probation. Secondly, I'm going to level with you right now, London. I can't get over the fact we even had an Asian Prime Minister. I grew up in this country in the 90s, up north in Blackburn. If you told me when I was a kid that one day we'd have an Asian Prime Minister, genuinely, I wouldn't have believed you. And it's not just him, is it? At one point this year, we had Rishi Sunak, Indian lad, Prime Minister of the UK, biggest job in the country. Here in London, Sadiq Khan, Pakistani lad, Mayor of London, another massive job. Up in Scotland, Hamza Youssef, Pakistani lad, First Minister of Scotland. Across the pond in Dublin, Leo Varadkar was just finishing 5 years as the Irish Prime Minister. He's half Indian. Across the bigger pond in America, Kamala Harris has just become the Democratic nominee. She might become the next President of the United States of America. She's half Indian. It's too much. Like, I feel like this is not what my granddad came over for. I love my granddad. I know why he came. My granddad came to this country to work hard, fight racists, and make sure that future generations got reparations. Or, as the government calls it, benefits. Think about my granddad's life a lot. My granddad must have had like quite a tough life. My granddad came to this country in the late 50s to help rebuild the country after the Second World War, and his life must have been quite hard. Can you imagine being an adolescent in this country in the late 50s of Pakistani background? But I think raising kids for my granddad must have been relatively straightforward, because all my granddad would have wanted is what anyone in here wants, is for their kids to be better than they are. But he was limited in his ambition by what he could see around him, the time he lived in and his circumstances. So he turned to his son, my dad, and he said to him, Puttar, son, go out there, be the best taxi driver you can. That's what my dad did. He drove taxis. I don't know if he was the GOAT, but he was good. No, he was good though. I think about my dad's life, growing up in this country in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, can't have been easy. But I think raising kids for him, again, must have been relatively straightforward, because all my dad would have wanted is what anyone in here wants, is for their kids, us, to be better than he is. But again, he's limited in his ambition by what he can see around him, the time he lived in and his circumstances. So he turned to me, his son, and he said, Puttar, son, I want you to study hard, go to uni, get a good job. That's what I did. Studied hard. Studied hard. I did. I did that. I studied hard, went to uni, got a good job. I packed it in for this, but I did it. Now, if I have a son, I am in an almost impossible position here. Because I want him to be better than me, but I've seen the progress made in my lifetime. I'm going to be like, oi, listen, you're going to have to be king. Go out there, cross that land that Dodi El-Fayed couldn't. Go on, lad, go on. Get out of here. Don't go to Paris, it's a trap. Just good advice. Just good advice. Can't get over Rishi Sunak being Prime Minister. Because I never thought it'd happen. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought there'd be an Asian Prime Minister in this country. So for me, something that I thought was impossible mentally became possible. When that happens, you have to question your entire existence. I have to question every experience in my life up to that point, even incidents of racism. Because I'll be honest, I look back at some of it now, I'm not sure all of it was racism. I remember once when I was younger, there's a guy in my area, Marzinovia, he was giving the big guns. He was like, oh, you lot, yeah? You're taking over. Maybe he just believed in me. If anything, I feel like I've let him down a little bit. was thinking this summer when those hashtag race riots kicked off in August. It took me back to a conversation I had with my dad, a good 25, 27 years ago. I was 14 years old at the time. And my dad at that time, he was doing something that I think a lot of people might be able to recognize. He was sending a lot of money back home, as we call it, to Pakistan. Like buying land, building a property, investing in businesses, that sort of thing. I remember at the time, even at 14 years old, I said to my dad, I was like, Dad, why are you doing that? We live here. Like, invest in a business here, buy some properties here, why are you doing that for? And my dad to me at the time said, well, son, that's my insurance policy. Because one day, dun, 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 they might kick us out. That's what your granddad always thought. Your granddad never thought it'd be here forever. Granddad thought one day we might have to leave. So that back home there, that's my insurance policy. And I remember just scoffing at my dad, laughing at him, going, they can't do that, Dad. We're British in the law. They're not allowed. Even if they wanted to kick us out, they can't kick us out. We're British. I remember my dad said to me at the time going, oh yeah, well, you think we're British. I think we're British. You might be right, son. You might be right. They might not be able to formally kick us out, but one day, conditions and the environment in the country might be as such that we might want to leave. I thought about that conversation with my dad about being chucked out. I thought about that a lot this summer when those riots kicked off. Because at the beginning of that, I remember those first couple of days, they were scary. And I thought, is this what my dad was scared of? Is this what my granddad was talking about? Is it time to 0121 do one? And then I thought about it some more, and I thought, nah, Granddad. Nah, Dad, I shook it off. I thought, nah. With all this amazing Asian representation at the top of the country, there's never been a better time to be British Asian. Plus, outside of South Asia, the UK is the most South Asian country on the planet. This is a desi as hell country. If you don't believe me, think about it. Like South Asia, the UK is a collection of 3-4 countries with a common culture, background, heritage, language, and a group of people who just hate each other very, very much. In this analogy, England would be India, obviously. That makes sense. In that is the biggest one, the richest one, the worst one. And then Pakistan would be Scotland, of course. In that is rough, corrupt, and they're both incredibly shit at football and cricket. Wales would be Bangladesh, I think. No, they would Wales. No, I think that's fair. Wales would be Bangladesh. Because if we're being honest with each other right now, London, no one cares. No, I care. Joy Bungalow, logging with the students. I'm just saying society doesn't care. Don't shoot the messenger. And Northern Ireland, because they love fighting so much, they be Kashmir. So it makes sense. The analogy is perfect. Mari, tari, ayore. Of course, the irony with all this amazing Asian representation at the top of the country is that someone like Rishi Sunak, bless him, he doesn't really represent the average British Asian, does he? I mean, this is a privately educated Oxford graduate worth £700 million. Like the average British Asian I know wouldn't have £7 by the time they've spoken to their accountant. Plus, the average British Asian man is taller than Lord Farquaad. But the point is that Rishi Sunak has ruined my politics. Rishi Sunak has sent my politics backwards. Because as long as I can remember, actually not when I was a baby, I didn't care back then, but as far back as I can remember, right, ever since I've had a platform, ever since I've been doing this for a living, ever since I've been on social media, I've always argued against those bigots online, those angry X-Men, who are always like, oh, diversity has ruined the country, we don't need diversity. And I'm always online like, no, diversity is the country's strength, we do need it. And we're not trying to replace you, we're just trying to take a seat at the table. Diversity is good, diversity is bad, diversity is good, diversity is bad, diversity is good, diversity is bad, diversity is good, diversity is bad. And then Rishi Sunak became Prime Minister, and I was like, oh no, I think you're right. How the hell did we let this happen? He wasn't even voted in. Talk about graduate program going too far. But I blame them. I blame the angry bigots online. I blame the angry X-Men, because where were they when we needed them? Where were the EDL? It's in the job description. English Defence League. Defenders then. Defenders, yaar. Defenders, please, we need you. Defenders. I was so desperate, I said Tommy Robinson's name in the mirror 3 times. Tommy Robinson, Tommy Robinson, Tommy Robinson. Help us, Tommy. We need you. They came out this summer. We didn't need you this summer. We needed you 2 years ago to stop that. But as much as Tommy let me down 2 years ago, I still Rishi Sunak has sent my politics so backwards, because I started agreeing with the angry bigots online now. The angry X-Men. I agree with them. There is too much diversity. No, there is. I think diversity can be good. It's useful in some places, like culture, media, sport, arts, education, that sort of thing. But you don't need diversity in politics. There's way too much diversity in politics. Why are we widening the group of arseholes for people to choose from? For people to choose from in the name of diversity. I say shrink the group of arseholes for people to choose from. That's why my motto in this year's general election was make politics white again. Kick black and brown arseholes out of Westminster. That was my motto. And I get it, you might be sat there going, you get it, Tez. You're being facetious for effect. But what about the good ones? What about like Saida Wasi? What about like Zora Sultana? What about Dawn Butler? You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Listen, I love Saida Wasi. I love Zara Sultana. I love Dawn Butler. But I would sacrifice their political careers 100 times over if I never ever got to hear the names Priti Patel, Rishi Sunak, or that walking, talking Halloween mask Swella Braverman in my life. In my life. Truly the unholy trinity, the triangle of twats. No, the samosa of shame. Every time one of these gets promoted to high office, the media and social media goes into meltdown with happiness. I don't understand it. Kemi Badnaik is now the leader of the Tories. That happened today as I'm recording this show. And look, whenever this happens, it happened with Priti Patel, it happened with Rishi Sunak, it happened with Swella Braverman, and every time it happens, I don't understand what they want me to do about it. Even today, the media and social media were like going into meltdown. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it incredible that in this country, a black woman could rise to such a high office of power? Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that worth celebrating in spite of her politics? No. What do you want me to do about it? Shall I come out on my doorstep and start clapping for her? I didn't even clap for the NHS drum to clap for this virus. I start singing, shall I? Shall I start singing for her? She's one of our own. She's one of our own. Auntie Kemi, she'll send us back home. So dumb. But I have started agreeing with the angry bigots online. I think there is too much diversity. I do. Even in things that would benefit me, like the movies. I act sometimes, so diversity in movies would be good for me, but I see some of the decisions and I'm like, I'm not sure about that one. You know, Disney are telling all of their legendary old cartoons and making very mediocre live-action films out of them. You'll have seen some of these monstrosities like the live-action Jungle Book, Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and to a candlestick, they are all atrocious. Now, the new one Disney are going to ruin is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There's a brand new Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs coming out next year, live action. You can check it out, the trailer's out. Now, Disney, in their infinite wisdom, cast a Snow White. And Disney, in their infinite wisdom, cast a young brown actress to play Snow White. Now, ordinarily, I'm not going to lie to you, I used to love that shit. He used to make those same angry people online cry, and their tears used to be an elixir to me. It used to give me life. I was like, oh, you're angry. salt, salty, So ordinarily I used to be like, yes sir, give me a black James Bond. Even though the film would now be 5 hours because he keeps getting stopped by the police. But I don't mind. I don't mind that. That's why I've been watching Bollywood films my entire life, to train for a 5-hour black James Bond film. Give it to me. Give me a female Hulk. Let her work through her rage. Give me an Asian Doctor Who, because at least, that one just makes sense. But in the case of Snow White, brother, her name is Snow White. Her name is autological. It describes what she looks like, and her name is Snow White. She's not called Chalk Ice. Snow White, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Not who's got the most rhythm. If they're so desperate to get brown people in that film, there's 7 dwarves. Give me 7 Bengali brothers right there. No, 5. I'll play 1, Rishi Sunak can play 1. 5 plus me and Rishi Sunak. I think the problem we've got in this country is that we don't have great racists anymore. We're Great Britain. We deserve great racists, goddammit. Make racism great again. Some of you might be sat there going, we shouldn't have any racists. Actually, shut up. If there are no racists, what would I do for a career, all right? Stop being selfish. And now we used to have great racists in this country, like top tier, S-tier racists. Like Oswald Mosley. Oh, lad. Like Winston Churchill, top 2 racists of his time. What a guy. Not everyone's going to get that one, but that's fine. But now what have we got? Tommy Robinson and the Angry X-Men. I'm not impressed. I'll tell you why I'm not impressed. And this might sound harsh. It's because the racist of today is stupid. And that might sound harsh. I'll tell you why they're stupid. Aside from the fact that when a young Christian lad murdered in cold blood 3 angels from Southport, the Angry X-Men spent the better part of 2 days spreading disinformation online about the identity of the attacker, causing the gullible arm of the racists to take to the streets, breaking mosques, attacking anyone who looked different to them, causing people in my community and adjacent communities to fear for their very lives and even question whether or not they even belonged in the country in which they were born. That's not why they're stupid, that's why they're dangerous. The reason they're stupid is because racists in this country have a mantra. You might have heard it. It goes something along the lines of, just because a dog is born in a stable, it don't make you a horse. Just because you're born in Britain, it don't make you British. And I'm stood on the other side of that argument going, who told him a dog is a horse? Who told this guy a dog is... Did you tell him a dog is a horse? Bro, stop spreading disinformation, you know. Come on, man. Sorry, bro, let me just WhatsApp the BAME WhatsApp group. Dogs are not horses. Stop telling people dogs are horses. You're confusing Goria here, man. What are you doing? I'm sorry, bro, you're right. A dog is not a horse. You're absolutely correct. But a brown horse, born in a stable full of white horses, is still a horse, you stupid cunt. The problem is we're all so angry all the time. Everyone is so angry. I'm part of the problem, by the way. I'm not here to provide solutions. Like, I'm very much here just to fan the flames. Fight, 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 fight. It's good for my career. No, I think we are just also angry all the time, and I'm part of it. And it might be a cliche, but I do blame social media for this, because as well as social media's very many documented ills, one of the problems for me with social media is that it's turned all of us into activists. And not all of us should be activists. Most of us shouldn't be activists. Remember back in the day when we were kids, there were activists. You knew who they were because they'd come once a month and knock on your door with a petition, and you put a fake name or signature on it and then send them on their way. Do you remember those lot? They were activists. But now, because of these smartphones in our hands, we've got all the knowledge but none of the wisdom. Wisdom is an optional module and none of us are taking it. And it's all very well being, it is actually good, to be up to date and care about things. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's just too much to care about. Because the problem is, if someone doesn't care about your thing, you get angry at them about it. And if you don't care about their thing, they get angry at you about it. There's no way to live. There's too many causes. You can't care about everything equally all the time. I've dropped stuff I used to care about, like the environment. Now, I'm sorry, if you care about the environment, for me, the environment can get in the bin. And I don't mean a recyclable bin, I mean a black one that goes to landfill. And it's not because I don't believe in climate change. I do believe in climate change. What do you want me to do about it? The environment is too big. Like asking me to take responsibility for the environment is like asking a beaver to stop a tsunami. And you ain't got the facilities for it. Did you know, if you took the top 10 tech companies on the planet, I'm talking about like Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, ChatGPT, Twitter, X, TikTok, Samsung, there's about 10 of them, right? If you took those top 10 tech companies and they were one country, they'd be the 5th highest polluter on the planet. That's mad, ain't it? We're all far too plugged into the matrix for our little efforts to make any sort of discernible difference. And so Greta Thunberg wants me to stop driving my diesel car. But she still tweets, no, Greta. No. You don't understand where I've come from. I've come from fantasizing the August catalogue over toys I couldn't afford. This is where I've come from. Let me drive my Audi Q5 S-Line Black Edition in peace. I've earned it, Greta. I've paid my dues. Let me live. I know who I am. I'm a simple guy now. I'm 41. I just want a simple life. Little things in life, just little things. Like all I want from life is just to drink a water bottle without getting smacked in the nose by a bottle cap. That's all I want. I just want to drink a bottle of water in this hand and swirl a bottle cap in this hand, like the good old days of 4 months ago. I know who I am. I'd rather have a plastic straw and let the world burn than have a paper straw but a shit milkshake experience. I'm 41, I don't know how many milkshakes I got left. I ordered a salted caramel milkshake, not a salted caramel paper mache milkshake. We're past the point of no return anyway, so with respect to Greta Thunberg, but my milkshakes bring higher temperatures to the yard. And my tan is better than yours. Damn right it's better than yours, I teach you, but you'd have to use an artificial sunbed, which would make the problem worse, actually, Greta, so maybe step away from the artificial sunbed. Truly, outside of family, friends, and Blackburn Rovers, I think there's only 3 other things I can care about max. And I think that's true for most people, maybe not the Blackburn Rovers bit. They can't take on everything. One being, whatever your primary identity is, whatever's happening with that at any given moment. So for me, obviously racism, Islamophobia is quite high on my agenda. I'm biased. Secondly, it might be something happening externally out in the world. So it could be the environment, could be child poverty, could be disability rights, could be natural disaster, could be war. So for me, what's happening in Gaza, Lebanon right now is very close to my heart. And the third thing will be something personal to you, something that's close to your heart, but maybe other people don't really care about it that much. And I've got one of those. There's a cause that I've been trying to get people to get behind for about 4 or 5 years now, and I feel like most people haven't, I'll be honest, most people don't really care about it. And the reason I put the tour on, if I'm being honest, the jokes are nice, but I just want people to join my anti-cult. Because I've been given a platform, I'm going to take advantage of it. Because at some point, I'm going to leave this planet and I'm going to leave it to younger people. And selfishly, I do want to leave the world a better place for young people. So I know it's a comedy show. I don't want to get too deep about it. But London, I do have to ask you the question, why is Lotus Biscoff in everything now? You know what I'm talking about, innit? This shit biscuit that we ignored in 3-star hotels and the hairdressers our entire lives has somehow penetrated its way into every single thing I'm trying to eat, and I'm just trying to figure out what the end game is here. What does Big Biscoff want from us? How can it go from nothing to everything in 4 or 5 years? It doesn't make sense. Look, some of us can't be saved. The hijabis are lost. We've lost the hijabis. The hijabis are done. Those 2 empty seats at the beginning of the show, it wasn't people who didn't turn up, it was 2 hijabis who changed their mind to come into the show and they're making a Biscoff cheesecake at home. That's what it was. Hijabis, step away from the Biscoff. It's not haram to not use it. It is the big conspiracy keeping me up at night because I don't care about the conspiracies anymore. I don't care about the moon landing. I don't care about the Loch Ness Monster. I don't care about what was in the COVID vaccine. Why is Biscoff in my cheesecake? And you might laugh at me, but it's in everything. It's in milkshakes and milk cakes and cheesecakes and donuts and waffles and crepes. And you might be like, that's bakery, Tez. Why are you worried about it? But I've seen Biscoff flavoured ice cream, Viennetta, popcorn, Kit Kat, Cocoa Pops. And again, you might be like, this confectionery. It's not an emergency. The reason I'm worried about it is because I've seen it in sausages, on burgers, on pizzas. Biscoff flavoured naan, bun and samosas. Astaghfirullah. Is nothing sacred. Someone sent me a screenshot on Instagram of a Biscoff paratha. That is terrorism. I've seen on Facebook advertised Biscoff deodorant. Why would you want your pits smelling like the cabinet of a travel lodge? What's next? Biscoff Johnnies? Is that the future? Sucking off the gingerbread man. Suck my biscuit, Biscoff. Because we can't just all be cynical all the time about everything. We do have to remember the beauty of the planet that we live on. And I got reminded of it a few months ago. I left my house to do a gig. I was driving down the M6, which you know I hate doing. And I got off at junction 16. I was going to some hellhole like Derby. And I got off, and I'm on the big A road over there, the A50 or whatever. And I'm driving on the inside lane. There's a guy driving on the outside lane next to me. And we're just driving along together like that. And I'm trying to concentrate on the road. But I'm also concentrating on him. Just driving along going, what do you want? No, because I'm on the inside lane. He's on the outside lane, the fast lane. Fuck off. At one point, I was going to wind my window down because I thought, oh, maybe we must hold hands and skip together to the destination. But before I could do that, I got distracted because I saw in front of me one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. It was a rainbow. Now, this rainbow was unlike any rainbow I've ever seen in my life. I'm 41. I've seen a lot of rainbows. I live in a rainy climate, but this rainbow was unreal. I'd go far as to say it was breathtaking. It was like a child had taken a crayon to the sky. It was like someone had implanted a real-life AI image right in front of me. It wasn't hidden behind any clouds. You could see the beginning and end of it, which you know is very rare for a rainbow in this country. It was mesmerizing. I even stopped abusing him because I thought, let me appreciate this. I couldn't take my phone out to take a picture because I was driving. And eventually I went past it and I could see it in my rearview mirror. And I was just trying to burn it into my brain so I could remember it for the rest of my life. It was honestly breathtaking. And eventually, a few bends later, it disappeared from view. And I just sat there full of joy and hope. Because you've seen my comedy. I'm not exactly Mr. Happy, am I? I'm quite a cynical lad. But it's almost like God sent me a multicolored antidepressant in real life to remind me of the beauty of the planet that we live in and that we've only got one. And that maybe we should look after it better and each other. I just sat there full of hope and joy thinking, what can I actually do with my platform to make the world a better place instead of spreading so much cynicism? And I was just trying to think up some ideas. And then suddenly a thought popped into my head involuntarily and all that joy just evaporated. And my body started getting refilled up with vexness. Vexness started refilling my body until it reached the very, very top. Because I couldn't shake this thought that popped into my head. And I sat there just driving. You know when you're gripping something so hard, your knuckles go white? I just sat there driving full of rage. I was like, wait a minute. Who just let gay people have that? You know what I'm talking about, innit? I don't remember there being a referendum about nature. I don't remember being sat in a room and gays got rainbows and Asians got clouds. I don't remember that meeting. Because it does exclusively belongs to them. You can't even borrow it. Because if I came out on the stage at the beginning of the show and this t-shirt had a big rainbow on it like that, you'd be sat there going, oh. All right, no, I didn't know that about him, okay. No, I'm making this pata, okay, all right. All right, no, I didn't know he was a Gaysian. All right, but that's fine. We still enjoy the show, but that's something new we learned about him. Exclusively belongs to them. I can't even enjoy things I used to enjoy. I can't have scales anymore. Are you kidding me? What's the tagline for scales? Taste the rainbow and actually eat scales like that. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I tell you, you should be vexed about this, is all white people. White people, you should be angry about this. Reclaim it. The rainbow is yours. The rainbow's colours is nothing to do with sexual orientation, and no one on this planet changes colour more than white people. But when you're angry, you go red. When you're mellow, you go yellow. When you're tan, you go orange. When you're sick, you go green. When you die, you go blue. You're the rainbow people. Claim it back, it's yours. I tell you what it is, it's gay like robbery. Any questions? While I'm on this track, actually, I'm really glad that England women lost the World Cup final last year. It's always the one. Of everything that I talk about, that is always the one that gets the biggest negative reaction. I was doing a practice gig in Liverpool a couple of months ago just to prep for the tour. I remember saying that out loud while I was practicing, saying, I'm really glad that England women lost the World Cup final last year. And this one person was not happy about it. They're like, oh. I went, well, what? They went, that's sexist. I went, huh? How is it sexist? And they went, it is. I went, yeah, but how? And they went, oh, do you support the England men's team? I went, yeah, till I die, what's happened? And they went, see, you support the England men's team so much, but you want the England women's team to lose, that's sexist. And I went, oh, but I don't think it is sexist. They went, it is sexist. I went, it isn't sexist. They went, it is sexist. It isn't, it is, it isn't, it is, it isn't, it is, it isn't, it is. I went, oh, hang on, who did they lose to? And they went, oh, Spain. I went, yeah, Spain's what? Spain's women. I went, yeah, so some women won then. I didn't want some men to win it. I just wanted a different group of women to win it. Let me just clarify, because I feel like a lot of people get annoyed when I say that I'm glad England women lost the World Cup final. So let me just clarify. I don't actually respect the women's game. Good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It's the end of the show. Thank you so much. No, all jokes aside, I don't. And the reason is, I'll tell you why I don't respect the women's game. Right, I'm a massive football fan. I have been as long as I can remember. I love the game of football. And I went to watch women's football because you got to support. And I went to watch England women play football because I thought I would go watch the highest level. And I went to watch England women at Wembley. And I went there and it was not for me. No, thank you. This was my experience of watching women's football. And look, if you're a massive football fan and you've been to watch women play football, and if you disagree with what I'm about to say, you have my permission to heckle me, to shout out, if you disagree with this. Now, this was my experience of watching women's football, and it was. This is what I saw. This was my experience. Right. If you go watch women's football, there is zero homophobia. There is next to no racism. And there's not even a hint of hooliganism. And for me, that's just not football, that. When I went to watch it, the fans from both teams were sat next to each other, integrated. I was like, what is this, rugby union? A sport that respects itself and the people that come to watch it, no thank you, keep that to yourselves. It reminded me of something that my wife did. Oh yeah, the biggest thing I did in the last 2 years is that I got married. You don't know her. I mean, I know her. I love her to bits. My top gal. Oh, I love her to bits. She's phenomenal. She's incredible. I don't know overblow it. She probably saved my life. Like she's amazing. I love her so much. And a lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, what was it that you were looking for? And a lot of people, even in relationships, they're like, what is it that makes you guys get on so well? And what it is, you got to find someone that is willing to put up with your bullshit. And I do this for a living. I am 95% bullshit. Imagine the angel she has to be to cope with that. So she is, I can't say enough good things about her. She is incredible. She's not perfect, though. No, she's not perfect. But I say that to say I'm not perfect. Of course she's not perfect. Of course I'm not perfect. Of course our marriage relationship isn't perfect. But anyone in a marriage/relationship knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know you're not perfect. You know your partner's not perfect. You know your relationship isn't perfect, no matter what you might try and tell social media. And single people, don't sit here smugly because you're not perfect either. Because if you were, you might have found someone. That's unnecessary drive-by that, sorry. No, she's great. I love being married to her. I think the biggest single problem in a relationship is because we're both Asian, we obviously didn't live with each other before we got married. So there's only things you find out about each other after you get married, by which time, that's too late, that. Like, that's a marriage certificate, not a receipt. There's no 14-day money-back guarantee in my culture. There's no try before you buy in her family. Once I signed that, that was a life sentence. I love being married to her. It's great. The marriage is great. Like, it could be better. Objectively, our marriage could be better. It just could be. Objectively, the marriage could be better. And I've made a list of those things. So here's a list of things that would make my marriage to my wife just better. Number 1. Let me fall in bed in peace. Just let me fall in bed in peace, man. Every single day, the same drama. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You're not going to die, right? You're not going to die. I've been fighting for 41 years. No one's died so far. You're not going to be the first person to die. Every day, just breathe, all right? The room will stop spinning in 5 minutes, all right? Calm down. Just breathe. Actually, don't breathe. Every single day, the same drama. Can't you go to the bathroom? You need to fall. No, I can't go to the bathroom 16 times a night. I'd never be in bed. Also, every time I do leave the bed, she complains about draft coming under the duvet. I'm like, do you want to be cold or smelly? Because one of them is happening. She's from down south, my wife. I dragged her up north. She complains about being cold every single day. If anything, by farting, I'm warming you up. Be grateful. That's the full list. That is the biggest problem in a relationship, is bedtime, sleepy times. Because I don't care where you come from on this planet. I don't care about your cultural background. I don't care what sort of person you sleep with that night. In every single relationship, there are 2 types of people, though. One person wants to cuddle and snuggle another person at night. And a second person is a victim of that. One person wants to suffocate another person to death, and a second person just wants to make it to the morning alive. Across the world, my relationship is no different. She's the hugger, I'm the hugger. Night after night, I like sleeping on my left-hand side. It's where I get my most comfortablest, most deepest sleep. Also, I have to be on this side of the bed because it's by the door, and under UN Resolution 786, I don't know, a man must sleep by the door in case a burglar comes in and you can die first. That is international law. I don't know what gay men do. Maybe they flip a coin every single night. I don't know. I don't know their lives. She likes sleeping on her right-hand side. Because she's a hugger, our faces end up pressed like this every single night. And as you know, London, there's nothing hotter, nothing warmer on God's green earth than your partner's face here when they're trying to sleep at night, breathing on you and giving you a taste of Jahannam. Ooh. Hellfire. Ooh. Darth Vader. I genuinely think, if she just took half a step back here, that would solve half of climate change right there. But what I don't understand is, her face is giving me hot blisters, but her feet are in Aberdeen. How can the climate be so different? It's 5 feet. It's like the whole of Game of Thrones in one person. I got dragons over here, White Walker stabbing me with icy toes at the end there. I tried being a bit slick, bro, because generally she nods off before I do. So I tried being a bit slick. I tried turning her over in her sleep. You're like a doner kebab on a spit, just... It don't work though. She's like a jack in the box. She's like, here's Johnny. So I've turned around every single night. Night after night, tell me back on me, woman. I don't like it. She don't like it. We don't like what it represents. That's the only way I can get some sleep. A couple of months ago, though, I got some free brownie points over. Now for once, because I don't have a hot breath directly burning my face, I've nodded off before she has. Now in my sleep, she's come over for a big spoon. And in my sleep, I've thrown her off me. Which she was delighted about, because this is how it went down. I've nodded off. She's come over like that. And in my sleep, I've gone, get off me! I'm married. It was the most charming, smoothest thing I've done in my life, and I wasn't even awake. She was though, she loved it. She told me about it in the morning. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. She goes, no, it was romantic. I was like, you've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth subliminal. Don't feel sorry for her, by the way. I can feel it. Just one or two of you in the darkness just sat there going, look at him. Microphone, stage, platform, lights, taking the mick out of this woman. Not very nice, is it? Do not feel sorry for her. Also, as an aside, if you want her point of view of what it is like to be married to me, a comedian, we have started a new comedy podcast. It's called Making a Husband. I think there's a few fans of it in here tonight. And we love doing it. And we're only about 5-6 episodes in. So we're right at the beginning of the journey. So if you want to see what it's like for a comedian to be married to a civilian and what it's like for her, check it out. It's called Making a Husband, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, etc. But do not feel sorry for her. She's a tyrant. This isn't even the worst thing that she does. The worst thing that she does, she takes to the entirety of the bed. Why? I'm not a big lad. I'm 5'8". She's 5'0" on a good day. Why do you do the entirety of our king-size bed? I promise you, night after night, she has me further and further and further to the edge of the bed until I've nearly fallen off the thing. And finally now, at my big age, I understand why Jack had to die at the end of Titanic. We've all seen it. There was room for both of them. Move up, Rose, you fat cow. Night after night shoves me further and further to the edge until finally I'm staring into the abyss. I'm on the slither of the edge of the bed and she's occupying our entire king-size space. I've given her a nickname. I call her Israel. Share! Not even 50-50, like 60-40, I'll take it. But if I fought, I'm a terrorist. Move up! On the subject of the Zionist caliphate, I am sick to death of the hypocrisy of the West. I don't want to hear anything anymore from the USA, from the UK, from France or Germany about human rights. The West lecturing the rest of the planet. The West lecturing the rest of the planet about human rights is like an XL bully doing a TED talk about child safety. I know it's important, but I don't want to hear about it from you. It's not just the weapons that we sell them. It's not just the intelligence that we share with them. It's not just the fact that we provide them with diplomatic cover, let alone the last 13 months for the last 75 years. Right now, as I'm talking to you guys, as I'm doing this show on the 2nd of November, 2024, there are currently hundreds, if not thousands, of young adults from America, from the UK, from France, Germany, currently serving in the Israeli-occupied forces, upholding apartheid in the West Bank, committing genocide in Gaza, invading Lebanon. What in the Shamima Begum is that? And while I'm here, bring my sister home in it. over 45,000 people in Gaza have been murdered in the last 13 months. 85% of them are civilians. Nearly 60% are women and children. Every single politician, political and social commentator, and journalist who's facilitated, funded, supported, excused, and cheerleaded this genocide belongs in The Hague. I'm old enough to remember when these same people that I'm talking about were outraged by 40 beheaded babies that turned out to not exist, that were imaginary, but when real life Palestinian babies have had their actual literal heads blown off day after day, week after week, month after month, for a whole year, these same people have been quiet as a mouse's piss. May the shame hold their grandchildren's grandchildren, a plague on all their houses. And then when people want to speak out against that, against what really? Apartheid, colonialism, genocide, invasion. People speak out against that, they're the bad ones. They're the ones who have to tread on eggshells and be careful because they might take their entire career away from them. They have to watch their backs. But I don't care. You think these colours are accidental? No. I don't care. I will say it any day of the week. I don't care anymore about speaking out for what's right. And if you're scared, stand behind me, because I will stand anywhere you want, any day of the week, any time of the year, 10 toes down, back straight, chest out, and I'll say it yesterday, today, tomorrow, inshallah, free Palestine. Israel, man. The Biscoff of the Middle East. This is a comedy show. Let's get back to something a little bit more lighthearted. Ukraine and Russia. So, I was watching Channel 4 News a couple of years ago, and the news isn't ordinarily where I get my comedy from, but now and again, the news throws you a gem, and Channel 4 threw me a gem. So Channel 4 were covering the Russia-Ukraine war. In and of itself, obviously, that isn't funny. But they were covering that aspect of the war where, do you remember when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off and we were asked in Britain to open up our houses to Ukrainian refugees? We all remember this, yeah? Now, I see this with zero cynicism. Any person who opened up their house to a Ukrainian refugee in their time of need is a good person, is a noble, selfless, good egg. And I say that with zero cynicism. Forget the politics of it. That to open up your private space to someone in their direst need, it's a good person. Now, Channel 4 were covering that aspect of the war. And they were covering people who'd opened up their houses. And then a few weeks later, they were following up, I guess, to create some case studies. And they followed this one lady in particular, a white lady, important detail, from Birmingham. And this lady opened up her house to a Ukrainian refugee and this Ukrainian refugee's kids. What an amazing, selfless, noble thing to do. Big up the lady in Birmingham. Now, Channel 4 News did an initial interview. They come back a few months later to follow up. And I can't do the accent, but Channel 4 knock on the door. This Burmese lady answers it, and she's like, oh, no, they moved out. And Channel 4 are like, huh? And then she invites them in for a cup of tea, Arju. And they sit down, and now we've cut to the kitchen, and they're sat at her kitchen table. She's leaning on the counter, and on Channel 4 like, what happened? Not in that accent, but... And they go like, oh, what happened? And this amazing lady from Birmingham explained to Channel 4. She goes, I live in a really nice multicultural area of Birmingham, and that Ukrainian lady didn't like living among so many black and Muslim people. And I've never laughed so much in my life. I found it so funny, because I thought, oh my days. Just a few months before that Ukrainian lady was sat back home in Kiev, chicken, however you want to pronounce it. And she just sat on her sofa, and suddenly without warning, Putin's bombs start raining down her neighborhohood. It's terrifying. What's the scariest thing anyone could possibly imagine happening to them? And then suddenly she grabs the kids, makes sure that everyone is okay. She grabs a little suitcase, and the little time that she has, she tries to pack in as much belongings as she can before she has to flee her house. But she remembered, even in the little time that she had, she remembered to take racism off the top shelf. She probably had to take a cabbage out to make room for it, but she did it. She did it, and then she packed her bags, grabbed the kids, and marched over to jolly old Britain. Now look, most of you know who I am. One or two of you might not know who I am, so allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Tez Ilyas, and I have had a lifelong dream, and that dream is to tell a white person to fuck off back home. And I genuinely feel I'm about 3 Ukrainian people away from a dream becoming true. And I'm getting goosebumps at the idea of it. London, you don't understand how excited I am. I practice every single night, no word of a lie. Every single night we got en suite in the house, and every night I kick the door in, and I'm like, what was that? Well, go back home then, go back to where you come from, lad. I take my top off, I'm like, fuck off home, mate. 2 world wars, 1 World Cup, you don't belong here. We don't need more white horses. Get out of here, lad. Get out. My wife's on the bed going, while you're in there, do all your farts. I'm like, oh yeah. Go back home! Go back home! It's the most fun I've ever had in my life. Now, I can't wait to try it in real life, but I feel like I need to practice, because I don't want to meet the wrong Ukrainian person and fluff up my lines. So I feel like I need to practice in real life, and this might be a good opportunity to do it. So, is there anyone... Is there anyone here who's... Is there anyone here who's white, but not from the UK? Put your hand up. What's your name, mate? Mary, nice to meet you. Oh, no, are you Irish? We're not doing that. Are you Catholic, Mary? Yes. Yeah, there is no way I am telling a Pakistani to fuck off back home. Sorry, is there anyone else here who's white but not from the UK? Are you white? Who put his hand up there? Bro, you look like Sajid Javid. What are you talking about? You are a Sajid Javid looking motherfucker, bro. Where half from where? Hang on. Are there anyone here who's like pure blood? Hey, mate. Hi. What's your name, mate? Julia. Hi, Julia. Nice to meet you. Julia, where are you from? Nice and loud. Where are you from?
I don't really want to say Germany.
Fuck off back home, lad! Get out of my country, lad! A German? A comedy show? Oh, astaghfirullah, no way! Get out of my 2 world wars, 1 World Cup. Get out of my country, lad! Fuck off back home! Unseen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Julia. Of course not you. You're one of the good ones. I was trying to think what the take-home message of this show is, because I've covered a lot of topics. And I guess it always kind of does come back to racism, because racism, it affects all of us, no matter what background we come from. And I genuinely have all my life thought racism was particularly stupid, especially amongst working people, which I guess all of us in here are today, because working people, no matter what sort of income streams, we might have a different level of income streams, we're not the elite though. Those people at the very, very top, no matter what colour, creed, background they come from, they take from working people, and then working people are left with the scraps. And eventually there's so few scraps, we start turning on each other. And we should remain united and focus on the people who take from us and make sure that our labour benefits us more than it currently does. And for that reason, I've always thought that racism is wrong. But then I tried it. I tell you what, it's not bad, you know. Like, I know racism is wrong and even stupid, but no one told me how much fun it was. And so what's that saying? Don't knock it before you try it. Don't knock it before you try it. You're German, you know what I'm talking about. Don't knock it before you try it. I'm just saying, give it a go. Plus, it's a group activity, isn't it? So grab a mate. Give it a go. If it doesn't work out for you, don't do it again, you know what I mean? But you might take to it. So I guess the take-home message of the show is just leave racists alone. They're just lads trying to have a nice time. No, I was saying, wasn't I, that we need to make racism great again? And the conditions of the country are such as we're not leaving, but maybe the conditions of the country are such that we need immigrants to do the job that white people can't do as well. And I'm a son of an immigrant, so I can make racism great again. I'll put the race in racism. I'll put the Asian in discrimination. I'll put the pack in pack your bags and 0121 do one. I was talking about my wife, wasn't I? I got distracted. Sorry, my wife. I was talking about women's sport and my wife. So my wife, right? I wasn't. About 20 minutes ago, I was talking about that. So the ADHD is strong in this one. So I was talking about my wife. So when I got married to the missus, she moved up north, and obviously she's in a new area, a new surroundings. She has to create a new social circle for herself. And one of the things that she did was she joined a local netball team. Great, enjoy yourself. She came back after the first session. I was like, "Oh, how'd you get on?" She goes, "Oh, I loved it." I was like, "Go on then." I was like, "No, how did you get on?" She goes, "Oh, I scored 3 baskets, a hat trick." She didn't know what I was talking about. And then I go, "Oh, who won?" And this woman, who I've chosen to spend the rest of my life with, who I've given my mind, body, spirit, soul, heart to in this life and inshallah the next, she looks at me, the man that she's chosen to spend the rest of her life with, the man she's chosen to leave her family down south for, the man that she should know better than anyone else on this planet and my values and everything that I stand for. When I asked her who won, she goes to me, "Oh, we don't keep score." What are you talking about? What do you mean we don't keep score? What's the point of playing then? Sister, When me and the boys go play football, and I'll admit it's a very low level of football, the lowest level of football you can possibly imagine, like one above the Scottish Premier League, it's low. It's a low level of football. When me and the boys go play that, if our friendship isn't on the line at some point in that game, we haven't played football. We don't keep score. 2. That's why women's sport, until it gets more toxic, then it's not for me. I've got one idea of how to make women's sport more toxic. No one's asked, but I'll volunteer my services. I think, for a laugh, we should send Asian aunties to Wembley to go watch England women play football. Now look, a lot of us in here know what an Asian auntie is. Some of us are Asian aunties. But some of you might not know what an Asian auntie is, so let me break it down for you. No one on this planet is less supportive of other women than an Asian auntie. And that's the Asian women clapping for that. So I think we should, for a laugh, send the Asian aunties to go watch England play football. Send your Auntie Shagufta, Auntie Kosar, Auntie Bushra. Send them to Wembley. Because imagine them sat there watching England play. The team they're supporting, England score, everyone around them starts cheering. They're not impressed. They stand up and they're like, "Ella, you're still single, you're still single, you're still single at 24. You're still single at 24. Besharmi. Or like, The England goalkeeper, Mary Earps, will save a penalty. Amazing. Everyone around them is cheering. They're not impressed. Stand up. If you've had some kids, stand up. If you've had some kids, stand up. If you've had some kids. Maybe try not to block some sperm, huh? Or like eventually, England will lose on penalties. It's in our blood, it's in the women's blood. They'll do it at some point, some World Cup, some Euros, some Nations League, they'll lose on penalties, and everyone around them will be like, oh, unlucky ladies, commiserations, you're still our heroes, you tried your best, we'll get them on the next one, we still love you. These three. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. You brought shame on your family. Que sera, sera. Send them there, man. They'll be so funny. The reason I'm glad that England women lost the World Cup final, get back on point, is because of my niece. Now, I love my niece to bits. She's amazing. She got into women's football the summer before the Women's World Cup, which is 2022, which is the summer that England women, the Lionesses, won the Euros, which is amazing. What an achievement. The first time an England national team had won anything at international level since 1966. An achievement, yeah, amazing. Big up you lot, innit? What an achievement. So she never really super got into it, but she dabbled a little bit. Then the following season, she dabbled in and out of football. Now the following summer is the Women's World Cup. Expectations on the Lionesses England are high. Now my niece has really got into it, which is great for me. I love football. She's getting into it. It's an amazing uncle-niece bonding opportunity. We watch a lot of the matches together. We watch the semi-final together. England win the semi-final. Now England women, the Lionesses, have qualified for the World Cup final. Wow. The Lionesses are jumping for joy on the screen. My niece is emulating her heroes, jumping for joy around the room. I'm trying to meet her eye. I'm like, oh, trying to give her a high five because I'm like, what an amazing achievement for her as well. It's a core memory she's created here. I'm like, and then suddenly I just stopped myself and I thought, hang on a minute. What have you done to deserve this? Do you know what I've been through in my life supporting the England men's team? And this Scutby walks into a World Cup final on her first goal. I'm not having it. She hasn't been through it. She hasn't suffered. She just hasn't earned this. You know what my first ever international tournament was? World Cup 1994. England weren't even in it. She wasn't there in Euro 96. When Gareth Southgate missed the crucial penalty, that means we got knocked out at home at Wembley in the semi-final. She won there in 98 when Beckham got sent up against Argentina and we lost on penalties again. She won there in 2002 when David Seaman got lobbed against Ronaldinho. It was a fluke, but we got knocked out anyway. She won there in 2006 when Wayne Rooney got sent up against Portugal and we lost on penalties again. She won there in 2016 when we lost to a flipping supermarket. She wasn't there. She wasn't there in 2021 when we lost the final at Wembley on penalties and our beautiful black boys missed them and they got racially abused. She wasn't there, yeah, when Gareth Southgate had to wear a bag on his head in a Pizza Hut advert. She wasn't there. And now she wants to walk into a World Cup final on her first goal. Not on my hate watch. So when that full-time whistle blew, and the Spanish women were dancing for joy on the screen, and the England women were all lying down, distraught, I glanced down at my niece. She had a tear streaming down her cheek, and I smiled. Got it. I looked at her and I went, oh, yeah.
ناديني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم